I'm coming on stage right at the moment where my speech should have ended. And I'm acutely aware that you're not here for me, but the award that you're going to get a little while later. So I will try to finish before my time ends. Try is a keyword here. At the heart of everything I do, I'm an educator, and we work well in 40-minute intervals. The time I have today is 15, so I'll try to really spin things across the slides. If I utter a statement that you don't believe in, I apologize beforehand, for I only see the world from my eyes. And I'm really lucky today that I'm getting to speak before Ms. Abha Adams speaks. Because had I been speaking after she spoke, it would have been like I'm telling the old story, while the lady's already told you what the future of education looks like. So I'm really lucky that I come in before her. So humor me for a few minutes and imagine a 7-year-old child who's learned how to browse, how to swipe, how to like, whose parent drops her to school while the parent is on a work call. And they meet again at night where the child browses and the parent browses alongside. Does it sound like something that you might have seen? Now imagine same child who starts her day with the story being read by an elder from the community, where this parent who was earlier rushing is now working 2 tables away, where a recipe from a grandmother has become a lesson in mathematics and in culture. And what if I were to try and use the only 8 minutes I have to say this is not a utopian thought, but a possible reality? It is this aim that made us think of all the questions we were contemplating about. And when I was asked to speak about the future of learning experiences, I could only come to you with what we as a team believe this future looks like, especially in the context of AI and everything being asked from a machine. So, the questions we were asking ourselves were, what if education was about today, your present, and not just tomorrow? What if relationships healed this disconnected world? What if school communities existed across ages and every generation felt that they mattered? I've changed 4 schools as a student, and in one of those schools, I remember a board. There was a board right next to the reception which read, "No parents beyond this point." I wanted to use one of those images, and I wished I had from my old school, so I was Googling, only to realize that I could buy it for $19 because so many schools use them that it's a commercially viable product. So these what-ifs made us think what we were thinking, and this little campus that we've created in Noida called the Healthy Planet became our answer. I plan to showcase today, or very briefly talk about what is making us move forward and what to us is the future of education. Along with a lot of Western thought and research and neural research that we've been programmed on, we've also been referring to our own past and this Vedic philosophy that humans go through these 4 life cycles, and each one of these stages has a unique, independent utility in the society. Schools for the longest times have existed for the first brahmacharya as an isolated unit and taking away the other 3, which is not how society has functioned since the human societies have evolved. So, on this campus, we are trying to see, can 4 of them actually coexist and add value to each other in the process? So, we firmly believe that this learning has to be intergenerational, and this connect needs to happen across ages. This is really a counterculture to the usual accepted norm where the parent drops the child into the school, turns back, and then comes on the day of the PTM. We are saying you walk into the school with your child, there is a space for you, there is a space for your child, and then there are times when you're contributing to your child, and there are times when the child is contributing to you. So, 4 minutes and 56 seconds. How do we do this? We believe spaces are centuries for a slower rhythm. We certainly believe that presence matters much more than performance, and we learn from each other as a community. So, how do we do this? We've got our magic 8. First of our magic 8 is the physicality of the space that we create. We've got a firm belief that environment is the third teacher for every human. The first teacher being the adults in the child's life, the teachers, the parents, the relatives, the adults around whom and the teachers. The second teachers being the peer group, your friends, children in your class. And the third being the space in which you are spending this time in. This little space is the atrium of this campus. It's a 40,000 square feet of built-up area for 10 classrooms, 180 children. That's the maximum capacity of this entire building. And this is the atrium, and a lot happens there. I talked about the parent or the grandparent coming into the school. Now, what do? They get a co-working space on the campus of the school that their child comes to. Only the parent can work from this co-working space. What we did not anticipate was that this co-working space became a space where communities would get formed. Because these parents are coming almost every day, working from there, they're making friends in that group. And about 3 months into our inception, our parents came together and said, we would want to do a musical production for the kids. Would you give us a space to rehearse? They rehearsed for a month, created their costumes, and did the first parent production on the giraffe who couldn't dance. And just last week, we had the second of these parent productions by the parents. So we are developing as a community where grandparents are as welcome as the parents are. We also created a library and imagination studio. We operate in Noida. This is possibly the only space like itself that exists. And it's open for children up till 12 years of age. And these kids come to us from schools around in the city. But the farthest we are getting children are from Meerut, from civil lines in Delhi, from Defense Colony, Noida, Ghaziabad. And these families are coming together, over 160 kids up to the age of 12. They come together and every day something happens there. They also have student interns. They have paid internship to assist younger children to read. And my favorite memory of the library is 3 children, the little one, a 3-year-old, the middle one, probably a 6-year-old, and an elder of 8, 9-year-old on the same beanbag, pretty much sitting one on top of another. And the 6-year-old is reading a book to the 3-year-old, but is not able to read all the words. So this 8-year-old perched on top of the beanbag is just giving those words that a 6-year-old is not getting. So these 3 kids reading that one book is my favorite memory of that space, of how they realize that there is just so much more to delight and how I am not here just for myself, but for other people as well. Planet Plate was something we tried out for the first time last month. Simple idea. You buy a plate in a feast. You come by yourself and we seat you next to somebody you don't know, with the hope that this conversation would make you speak to somebody that you might have never encountered otherwise. So there was musical chair and a lot of other things with these adults, young adults. This is before the food photograph. and it was such a big hit. So another opportunity to create a community where we as a school are not a service provider of education to your children. We are an extension to your family. We are an extension to the community that you create for yourself. And we strongly feel that times to come, schools need to open their doors to the family and become an integral part. We cannot be looked at as service providers of education, that I pay you to teach my child this. That relationship has to evolve if the future of education has to evolve. My time's up, so I'll go very quickly. Planetaires, the alumni, where our parent and children both are our alums, and they come together. The Festival of Learning, all of this effort would have been wasted had it only been for the 180 children who are on our campus. So we do a Festival of Learning, invite people from all across the world, and share and celebrate what we know and what we don't. And bingo. Wisdom Wonders, our grandparents, very active members of our community. And these events actually last the longest because while we have an agenda and the agenda finishes, and for hours they're still there. Planet Mamas, mothers are integral to our experience. We thought we were creating that co-working space only for mothers, working mothers. What we did not realize was 40% of our users in our co-working space are men. So these young parents are not stereotyping their responsibility of childcare goes to the woman. They're actually saying, well, if my work can happen remotely, then I take the kid to school. The Learning Lab, all of what we learn and unlearn, we are happy to share. And Learning Lab does that. So we've done white papers. Learning Lab is also now running perhaps India's first early years middle leadership program. It's an online program for 5 months with the intention of assisting our colleagues to learn how to lead. School principals who are here became principals after years of being a teacher, learning on the job, learning from their boss, but there was no organized effort to say, well, these are different ways to lead. So hopefully this 5 month program would change that. I'll not bore you with the impact, but show you this one thing. So this actually came on this WhatsApp group as I was driving here. It's an example of the community and being transparent. So the teacher has shared some photographs of what happened in the class today. And she writes, Agastya had a bright day, though he began with a few tears. The teacher is not hiding that your child cried in the school today. Goes on to share what happened. And down below, the mother has responded, how wonderful, feels so light to see him getting comfortable at the school with the help of mentors. And kudos to the entire Healthy Planet team to sum up and update parents, which gives us a lot of confidence. This happened a couple of hours back, and this is real, existing reality for us every day. So this, to us, looks like the future of learning, something we are super committed to. We are very happy to share. If it is of any interest to anybody, feel free to ping us and come over. In the 18 months that we've been around, we now have hosted 261 schools on our campus. Thank you for listening to me. Have a great day.